Hi everyone, welcome back to Berlin Biz. Today I have a special topic for my interview. Usually we speak about business, about startup, about German ecosystem, but today we will speak about matchmaking. And matchmaking isn't only about dating, but definitely we will talk about the dating also. Matchmaking is also about finding right people in your life, co-founders, partners, collaborators, people you are going to build a long-term relationship with. And for this topic, I have a special guest. Her name is Alysia. She's a founder of Alto Matchmaking company that offers personalized matchmaking for people who want to have a meaningful, nice real relationship, not only another dating app experience. So she's a real expert in matchmaking, and I think it will be interesting to know more about it. Let's get started. And for those who are new on my channel, my name is Hanna. I'm from Ukraine. Here in Berlin, I run my own digital marketing agency, and I am a creator of YouTube channel Berlin Biz, where I explore business opportunities and startup scene in Berlin and Germany. And today we are talking about matchmaking. Let's get started. So, Alysia, could you tell about your background? How did you come up with the idea to make Alto Matchmaking company? So, what did you do before matchmaking?
Yeah,
Sorry.
great. So I'm originally from Canada, but I moved to Europe when I was just 17. So I've been here all my adult life. I've moved around a lot. I moved in Belgium to England to Germany, back to Belgium, back to Germany. And through that time, I had a wealth of different careers and experiences. So most of my jobs have been to do with people management. I've done a lobbyist, environmental side, risk got in there a little bit. Yeah. So I think, when you're an expat like that, you do kind of follow the opportunities that
I
arise.
had a huge professional experience. I thought, to work at the matchmaking, for me, it seems totally difficult job. I could say, so how can we got to understand how to match people? But now it's a little more clear because you have fashion exciting background.
Yeah, I think the one thing that is kind of the thread between all of my career choices has been working with people, because I really enjoy getting to know individuals, and I have a lot of empathy and can understand, especially international backgrounds. And I really believe personally that the more people you get to know, the more cultures you understand, the healthier you are mentally. The world can only benefit from understanding.
So you are from Canada, you have been living in USA, in Belgium, now you are in the late. Why Berlin?
So I originally came here actually because my mother was here for a job, and I came to visit her, and I just fell in love with the city. So I decided I'd move here. I didn't speak German. I didn't really know what to do, but I just wanted to take a try.
Sure, you are like a German lady, no?
No. Maybe I'm morphing into one, but
speaking German at this event.
yeah, I mean, I've been in Germany on and off for almost 20 years now, so I do feel like this is my home.
German language, have you learned with your mother or?
So I took a commitment when I first moved here. I took very intensive lessons. I got some small jobs where I could practice, and I tried. But I would say it took me about 2 years to feel really comfortable. It's not an easy language, as you know.
Yeah.
But we have to try.
Okay, nice, interesting. So what inspired you to start Alto Matchmaking?
Yeah, so throughout all of my international experience, I have personally dealt with bad dating experience, and I've heard from many, many people the same story. And I see so many genuine, lovely, emotionally stable people that cannot find partners. I don't think dating apps are a good thing for society. They were kind of fun and novel 10 years ago, but now I think they're leading to really unhuman behavior. And so I wanted to bring back a more traditional way to really connect people and get people to think more about what's actually important rather than the height of a person or, what they might do on the weekends. That's why I had also my experience with a dating app, but it was so many time before, so on time when I was at Ukraine. For me, it was a method to learn English, really. And I had no English at all, and I
was a matter just to communicate with people. But now I cannot imagine that I can use it because it takes so much time. It's really, you have to be involving in this process. It's like to invest some time, some energy in this process, and I cannot I cannot.
No, I mean, I was reading recently that people that are actively on apps can spend up to 8 to 10 hours a week. That's a huge amount of time.
Absolutely, and people are upset when you're not answering. And then I also had a problem with a dating app. My problem was I always make a imagination about the people. Absolutely, my imagination was always better than not had better some another first.
Of course, your fantasy is
My Turkish fantasy and all time. And when I met these people in real life, I saw. I was so surprised. What is it? It's not like the person I imagined before. And it happened with me always. So because of that, I could say that I cannot use it. And of course, now there are so many stories. People are exhausted using these apps because the stories are the same and they didn't find something really meaningful. And maybe it's easier to meet people, but not to make meaningful relations.
Absolutely. And you know, I feel like I also hear this a lot that people are getting off of the apps because they're tired of it. But where are we meeting people then? Because a lot of us are working from home. A lot of us don't have our family or friends nearby anymore. And so where are those social networks? They're gone. So meeting people has become extremely hard. And that's why I'm trying to help.
Yeah, so nice. Okay, so let's start to speak about Alto Matchmaking. Tell about your company. What does your company offer? How it works, actually?
Yeah, so some people might be familiar with the industry of matchmaking from Netflix shows, like there's Jewish Matchmaker, Indian Matchmaker, and those are very culturally based. I'm trying to bring a modern trend to Germany, which is very popular now in North America, to basically outsource looking for a partner. So it's just me. I'm working alone, and then I sometimes work with recruiters who can help me find people. But I start as a company, and I basically offer the service. I get to know my clients very well. So we spend the first call is usually 90 minutes to really deep dive into their values, their lifestyle, their goals, their history, everything like this. It's a bit like a coaching sessions. And then we agree to work together. It's usually about 6 months. And then I go out and find them matches. So I work to find people based on what they're looking for in their lives, their family goals and values, things like that. And then that way, when I suggest someone to meet up, I've already pre-screened that to make sure that they're probably freeing their time if someone gets not aligned with their goals.
Okay, so how it looks like? So you have a database of people who want to find partner?
Yeah, so it's free to join. Anyone can join. Anyone who's interested in a genuine, committed relationship.
How's it?
So just on my website, altomatchmaking.com, there's a link to join the database, and it's free, as I said. If you're interested, you can fill out a profile, and all you have to do is submit. Only I can see that. I'm very, very particular about the data privacy, especially in Germany. I would never share his profile until someone potentially who could be a match shows up, and then I'll reach out to you and ask if it's okay to share.
People had to fill out some questionnaire.
Yeah, so my matchmaking methodology is very much values based. So you'll find a lot of questions about what values are important to you. So to me, I define values as how you spend your time in your life.
Everything is everything are for free, or you have debts?
So it's free to join the database, as I said, and that will make you eligible to be matched with paying clients that I've. So I'm obviously available for hire as well. So those are I would say those services are for people who are very serious about what they're looking for, wanting someone in the next 6 months or so, and ready to work with a professional such as myself.
Who are your clients mostly? So they are experts in the weeds. What kind of lifestyle they can see?
Yeah, great question. It's actually a very interesting one. So I'm based in Berlin, but I work across Europe and even in Canada sometimes. I still have some connections there. Clients who come to me are a split right down the middle between men and women. That might be interesting because I assumed it was going to be men, to be honest. But it's genuinely successful, attractive women as well who are just not having the time to find a partner. So it's usually international professionals, people who are quite busy. And as I mentioned before, it's about outsourcing this service. So it's the same thing when you would hire a cleaning person to clean your house. You know, it's about making your time more efficient.
You know, I was thinking about this process, and I was thinking that your role in this process is huge. Because you have a database, you have information about people, about men, women, and so on.
Yeah.
And then you have to decide that these two people are good match. So how are you that?
Yeah.
What kind of science do you see?
Yeah, so this is also a good question. It's not like you can go to university and study matchmaking. Although I did go through the certification from there's one body in the world that certifies matchmakers, and they're based in New York. So I did go through their course, which also allows me to access a global network of matchmakers to help me match. But it's very much based on intuition. And as I say, I try my best to get to know the people extremely well. So even people who join the free database, I will personally interview them to ask them specific questions, mostly around, again, value, what it is they're actually looking for.
Do you face such kind of thing like a big expectations? When people make a huge expectation about potential couple, like I want it. But I also was thinking about this question before. And yesterday I was thinking about it's okay to have a huge expectations. We are all want to get someone handsome, someone who has a nice job or who has no problem with the money and so on.
Yeah, great.
People are funny with a sense of humor. It's okay to wait, to think about something more. What's the problem with it?
I don't think there's a problem either. So the way I would answer that is by saying I also work closely with my clients to make sure that what they think they want is actually what they want. So we spend a lot of time working on, okay, family, what do we want? Career, what do we want? You know, thinking about that to make sure that then we can prioritize what we're looking for. Because odds are, even though we all want perfect person, maybe they're not out there. So we have to really be clear on what it is that's important to us. And then search with those parameters instead of Mr. or Mrs. Perfect.
Yeah. Have you seen this movie Materialists?
Yes.
Yeah? What do you think about it? Because this movie started with this scene where people are telling about their temptation.
Yeah.
And the main character of the movie, Lucy Mason, and she has to deal with these expectations that sometimes she thinks big too much and so on. And she has experienced somehow, maybe you have to think about someone else. Are you dealing with this?
You know, yes, but not to the extent that the movie would make you believe. And I also feel like there's a cultural difference between Europeans and Americans in terms of what they're looking for. I would also say that every matchmaker has different clientele. So some matchmakers will be more focused on, you know, high net worth individuals, or some will be more focused on specific industries. And so it's a matter of also working with the matchmaker before you sign any kind of agreement to make sure that you click and that you can work together, because it is a very trust-based relationship. It's very important that you're getting along with the person and that you know that you can help them.
Did it happen to you that you hear really unrealistic expectations?
Yes. Well, how did you? So I had one person who came to me, and it was a woman. She was quite tall, and so she had said to me that under no circumstances would she date anyone shorter than her. And so I had to eventually say that it's not possible, because with the list of everything that she also wanted, putting these parameters on this search unfortunately made it not possible. And that's just, you know, that's just part of the business. Hopefully someone else can help her, but...
So what do you actually think about this movie? How realistic this movie is? And there is a dilemma of this movie. Like the main conclusion was you have to find someone your lifestyle, your level, or something like that, that if you are like a regular girl, maybe you don't have to think about someone reach maybe someone too cat or too rich and so on.
Yeah.
And I thought also I like this movie like an art, so it was interesting to watch. But I didn't like the conclusion of this movie.
I agree.
I thought, why not? Okay, there are so many examples in real life when people meet together. Maybe they are so different, but anyway, they are together. What do you think about?
I agree with you. I think, I don't want to spoil the movie, but I think it was the wrong conclusion in the end. You know, obviously it's Hollywood and they're trying to entertain people and everyone's gorgeous and attractive. But I think, yeah, in real life, we have to understand what it is we're looking for before we go out and find it. Hollywood and social media has made it more about you just go out and you stumble into your perfect match. But I don't think that happens in 90% of the cases. You have to work on it and you have to know what you're looking for. You have to work on yourself as well. You know, nobody's perfect. And so we have to.
Yeah, but anyway, it was a bit weird for me to watch this movie because she was beautiful and she was quite okay. She had some challenges at her work. It's okay. Everybody has challenges. And I thought she was somehow burned out because of her work. And maybe because of that, she felt so confident. But maybe it was not. Conclusion was not so good.
Yeah, I mean, but you also mentioned something about like making sure your lifestyles are matching. I think that's true to some extent, but I always warn clients, just because someone doesn't have the same hobbies as you, it doesn't mean you're not meant to be together. So like if someone wants to go play golf on a weekend, that's fine. You don't have to. It's healthy for couples to have their own hobbies. I think what's most important is just to make sure that your goals are aligning. So if one person wants to save as much money as they can for retirement, that's not going to work with someone who likes to take nice vacations and go out to eat fancy dinners. That's just not going to work. That's going to lead to a lot of arguments.
Yeah. So what are the biggest challenges here?
Yeah. So because I'm a single entrepreneur, solopreneur,
Selbstständig.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the English term is anymore.
Self-employed.
Self-employed. Yeah, I own the company. I'm really doing everything. So I think like this is maybe a boring answer from the matchmaking perspective, but really just understanding what services I can outsource myself, such as social media management, things like that, was really a challenge for me at the beginning. You know, divvying up my work to make sure that I could focus on the clients was a challenge. And also, I will say more on a cultural perspective, I'm from a very friendly and outgoing culture. And coming to Germany, where it's not so normal to stop people on the street and ask them if they're single, this is a challenge. So I do a lot of the recruiting work online through LinkedIn or Facebook.
Interesting. Is there something like a German dating culture? What are the main challenges? What kind of difficulties people have today looking for a partner and so on? I think that I have a lot of friends, and I know that sometimes I had a lot of girlfriends who really want to find a good, reliable man, but they cannot. And I know exactly they are good, they are open, they are friendly and so on, but it's difficult. For me, it's no way I am not looking for a man at all because I am a survivor. I am not on the level to look something romantic because I came from Ukraine and I had to survive in Berlin.
Your nervous system is not ready for that, and that's totally fair.
Yeah, so I try to fix my business, my YouTube channel, so I am too busy. Maybe it's not a good example, but it's like that. So I cannot share my experience, but I have friends, and I could share only my business experience. Berlin is very multicultural, and there are so many people from around the world here, and it's so easy to meet people at the events. There are so many community networking events. We met together at one networking event for German entrepreneurs, and it's not a problem to meet new people, to make a new introduction, not a problem at all. But what I faced, I meet people, I try to meet the partners, maybe co-founders, maybe collaborators, and people always friendly, they are like willing to help. Oh, let's do it. So for the first time, you think it's easy to find people to collaborate with. But then when you have to make something, they are disappearing.
Yeah.
And there are no option to make something together. So my methods to understand is this person reliable or not, I just try to make something together. I invite people, let's do this, let's do interview together, let's do video together. And I could say it's very difficult to find people to collaborate with, no? Really reliable people. I could say this is my institution. What do you think
Exactly. That's exactly my experience as well. It takes a lot of hard work and commitment to do anything in business together, and then it's the exact same in a relationship, right? So you have to really work at it. You can't just sit back and be passive and expect things to come to you, because it will not happen, especially in Germany.
Do you have some methods? Maybe you have an experience, yeah? You have a professional experience. Do you have some methods to understand, is this person reliable? Is this person right to make long-term, meaningful relationship or so on?
Yeah, I mean, there's no easy test, unfortunately. For me personally, it's about consistency, showing up, checking in without me having to check in. Even when I used to lead a team of people, it was about proactively coming with new ideas, just having a chat. It's really small human skills that maybe we're losing a little bit, after the pandemic, and now with AI, it's maybe not as important for some people to remember those soft skills. But when you're working on building trust, building a business, and building, a relationship, those are key.
What do you think about this time today? Why is it so difficult to make a meaningful, real relationship? What are the biggest challenges today?
Well, again, it's about, I think we're all humans, right? And human nature is to take the easiest way. And so we now have so many shortcuts and things that make our lives optimized and easier, which is great. But we cannot take those shortcuts when it comes to human interaction. We have to put that work in.
So yesterday I read one article about USA, and that more than 40% of people are willing to stay alone, live alone, because the life, you have everything online.
Yep.
And you can make meeting online, you can order food online, and now also you have a good friend as a ChatGPT, as a AI, and there are so many people who tell, I rather spend time with AI, with ChatGPT today, who go to the date and just face someone's face or beard. So, and I could say, okay, some dialogues are really good, are really meaningful, and ChatGPT could be so supportive. And also, he or she try to make jokes. So sometimes it's could be also funny. And what do you think about?
Well, the statistic of 40%, that's shocking to me. It's a bit sad. But listen, I'm not going to judge someone who wants to rather stay home. Fine. That's your own decision. I would just encourage people to think about what really makes them feel good truly at their heart, and not just on a superficial level, not getting into this echo chamber with ChatGPT, who will tell you anything you want to hear. There's no deeper intimacy there, mentally or physically, and so I think we're replacing our really human needs with machines, which is at its core unhealthy, and in the future I don't think it will lead to anything good.
Yeah, we started to speak with you about something like a dating culture. Mm-hmm. Could you tell, is there something like a German dating culture? Are there some rules? Or
well, there's always rules in Germany.
I could say about Ukrainian dating culture, because there are so many TikTok videos Ukrainian girls make, and they tell, because for Ukrainian girls it's okay when men bring flowers maybe on the date, bring pay for the coffee, for the food, make presents and so on.
Yeah.
So for us, it's okay when men like behave like this. But then they faced German dating culture, and they made so many videos like, oh, he just told me to go to walk in the park. By full
Classic. Yeah.
she has no car and so on. So what do you think about it?
So I
How
will
to deal with these culture differences?
This is a huge one that I deal with a lot. I actually ran a webinar about it not too long ago to try and give some tips. But at its core, German dating culture is very new. There was no really such thing as dating in Germany until 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
So the way you would meet people was always through friends, at work, through a party. And you would just sort of start to spend time together. And it wasn't like, I'm asking you out on a date, you know, where the man would be expected to open the car door and pay for dinner. This idea did not exist here. And so now you're getting this infiltration of cultures in Berlin from all over the world, and there's a mishmash, and expectations are all over the place, especially as you just mentioned. People from Ukraine, people from America, they're coming there expecting more chivalry.
How is it in Canada or in America?
I mean, Canadian dating culture is similar to American, I would say, where traditionally you would expect the man to pay and everything is this. It is changing, but I think that's still the prevalent stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
But in Germany, no, it's much more equal, it's much more even. That you will see women approaching men a lot more here. And I like that. It's hard to get used to, though. For me personally, when I first moved here, it was a culture shock. I came from Brussels to here, which is a very more like crunch-minded, more romantic culture, to here where it's very much like black and white. So I understand, and I think the only way to get over those cultural expectations is to communicate with each other, and that can be awkward, but it will lead to bigger success.
Okay, but I could say that people are different. Yes, we have a cultural stereotypes, but I could say that situation would be different, people would be different, and it doesn't mean that German men are only so and so, and Ukrainian women are and so and so. So
There's the 40 million men here, you know?
absolutely, absolutely. That yes, and it couldn't happen because it was also the scene of the movie Materialists that the main character Lucy. So she had in database very nice perfect man, to say, and she decided to date him.
Mm-hmm.
And to use this kind of opportunity, we also have database. Couldn't she someone?
I mean, I guess technically I could, but I find that maybe I've been living in Germany too long, but that should stay the privacy is for me. I don't know, it's a boundary that I would not cross. However, I do, if anyone is looking to meet somebody off the apps, my biggest tip would be, well, first of all, to come to me. But then secondly, to really look on things like Eventbrite and Meetup and go out to events that are not only for singles, but just whatever you want to do. Like if you like dancing, go to an Instagram and be open, smile, and have more open body language, and that alone will.
I could say my methods to find a couple to do my methods. I think that friendship is like underestimate, not underestimate.
Yeah.
How's that?
Underestimate.
Underestimate is, yeah. So I think that we are speaking about relationship, long-term relationship, maybe a marriage and so on.
Yeah.
But I think the friendship is so, for me, friendship means much more than relationship, because, and I think that every good couple could start with a friendship. For me, it's more important.
Yeah.
I think if you are doing something meaningful, if you handle a job, you start up your business, you are doing something, and then you can meet people who are interested in the same field. Maybe they like to help you, maybe they would like to cooperate with you, and it's the best way to find a couple, because when you start to work or to make something together, then you can trust this person. So my method is to make something meaningful for you, to understand who you are, to make your business, your startup, your idea, and then you can meet right people on the way. This is my method. But at the same time, I noticed that men are not accepted friendship. Like if you offer someone, let's see something, they just visit some, I don't know, communities or maybe salsa club or something together. Nobody wants to be in the friends zone. So I really love this friendship we had in our childhood, when we easily could make something together without any expectation. For me, it's like a much more interesting. If you have the same interest, you have to start with something, and then you can see maybe it would grow in something else. Why not? But friendship today is something like
Adult friendship is hard. And especially when you change your country and you don't know anyone anyway. You know, this is a different layer of challenge as an expat, is the social layer. Like, you have a vulnerability of being lonely more than most of the communities that you would meet. And that's one thing I always say to try and do first. Before you look for a partner, make sure you have at least one friend who you can trust and tell things, you know, secrets and intimate details with, because that, again, it's fulfilling a human need. And then when you do then look for a partner, you're not expecting your partner to fulfill all of your needs, which is healthy. But I liked how you bring in business relationships and friendships, all needing this level of trust. That's so accurate and so correct. And the only way to really build that trust is to just keep showing up and keep like proving who you are as a person. I'm sorry you had these challenges with other people. I mean, I think I've had the same challenges, but there are people out there who are looking for the same thing on every level.
Okay, so quite cold here, so I decided we had to be at the end of our interview.
Okay.
Tell please how people could reach you, how people could get your help. We can use this opportunity.
Sure, yeah. So my website's very easy to find. It's altomatchmaking.com.
In the description, please.
Great. And then across all social media, I'm at Alto Matchmaking, on LinkedIn as well. So I'm easy to find. You can book a free 30-minute consultation with me if you'd like to discuss your relationship goals. And I also offer smaller one-to-one sessions if you want more targeted support.
Yeah, great. Thank you for being here. And there are so many new episodes coming out on my YouTube channel. We could speak longer time, but unfortunately it's so cold. But I think it's impossible to continue.
I think the Ukrainian and the Canadian, when they say they're cold, it's cold.
It's not comparable.
Exactly.
Cold in Berlin and cold in...
Exactly.
You know, for the first time I wanted to move to Canada because of the war in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then I decided it's too cold for me. And I chose
It takes a lot of different clothing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, take care and see you in the next video.